Sylvester Stallone's portrayal of a gangster is the primary draw of Tulsa King, but the most recent episode demonstrated that Dwight Manfredi, his character, isn't actually a mafia. Dwight is obviously a mobster in his functional sense. He controls Tulsa with an iron fist, manages multiple illegal businesses, and either fights or commands the majority of the cast in Tulsa King Season 2. Even though he behaves like a gangster, Dwight isn't your typical mafia boss, as evidenced by the moment he shared with Tyson, J. Will, following the conclusion of Tulsa King Season 2, Episode 7. Hello everyone, hope you are having a good day. Before going to the main topic, I want to say like this video and subscribe to the channel. Tyson's attack on Bill Bevilacqua Frank Grillo was a grave error. He attacked the incorrect guy because he didn't wait for Dwight to acquire concrete proof. Even if Tyson wasn't only to blame for the conflict in Tulsa King Season 2, it still directly contributed to the gang war. By the end of Tulsa King Season 2, Episode 8, Jimmy the Creek Glenn Gould had already been shot as the first casualty of Tyson's activities, which had some far-reaching, unforeseen repercussions. But despite all of those repercussions, Tyson just received a mild reprimand. Tyson made a huge mistake by attacking Bill Bevilacqua, but Dwight was very forgiving of him. According to him, Tyson is part of a family and will be protected even when you're wrong. Since a normal mafia boss would have had Tyson fired for defying a direct order and inciting a gang fight, Dwight's decision to pardon Tyson demonstrates that he is not truly a gangster. For example, the Manfredi family believed Dwight might have ratted Pete out to the police, so they attempted to have him assassinated in prison. Dwight truly loves his group as if they were his family, but a typical gang would only refer to themselves as such. One of the nicest things about Tulsa King is that Dwight isn't a real mob boss, despite Sylvester Stallone's portrayal of a fantastic mobster. Both Tulsa King and Stallone are capable of producing deeply poignant emotional scenes because Dwight is creating a real family rather than a straightforward criminal organization that poses as a family. By portraying Dwight, Stallone has displayed some of his most vulnerable and brilliant acting in decades, and Tulsa King has had the opportunity to tell a compelling tale of a guy attempting to move past his troubled past and start a new family following a significant betrayal. One of the numerous reasons Tulsa King has only gotten better over time is Dwight's emotional bond with his family. It's possible that many spectators came in to watch Stallone order hits, make irresistible promises, and more. You start watching Tulsa King because of the gangster scenes, but it's the emotions that make you care for Dwight and his families, including his relationships with his gang and Tina Tatiana Zappardino. Tulsa King wouldn't be nearly as unique as it is if Dwight was simply a regular mobster. It is unclear who is primarily responsible for initiating the full-scale conflict that has erupted between Sylvester Stallone's character Dwight Manfredi and Frank Grillo's character Bill Bevilacqua in Tulsa King Season 2. Dwight and Bill had initiated a gang war by the end of Tulsa King Season 2, Episode 8, and blood was already being shed. However, it's unclear who is mostly to blame for the carnage because the gang war is the result of numerous long-running conflicts and tales that have been simmering among the Tulsa King Season 2 characters for a long time. Although he wasn't entirely to blame, Dwight had to deal with some remorse in the most recent episode of Tulsa King Season 2 for allowing the gang war to worsen as it did. This season, Dwight has made a number of adversaries, including Jackie Ming, Rich Ting, and Cal Thresher, Neil McDonough, who have exacerbated the conflict, although even they aren't entirely to fault. Particularly since the conclusion of Tulsa King Season 2, Episode 7, even Dwight's allies, primarily Tyson Mitchell, J. Will, have contributed to the situation reaching a boiling point. Dwight instructed Tina, Tatiana Zappardino, to return to New York with her children in order to ensure everyone's safety after he found out that Bill Bevilacqua was pursuing him and the gang and seeking blood. Tina, who had moved to Oklahoma to live with her father, was angered by that and used the argument, who sets the stage for bad things to happen, to persuade Dwight that he was to blame for the conflict. Even though Tina's remarks were unpleasant, they contained some truth, and Dwight bears some of the responsibility for his altercation with Bill Bevilacqua. Dwight set the stage for all of the murder and carnage that had occurred in Tulsa King Season 2 thus far, as Tina stated. When Dwight first saw Bill, he had the opportunity to make amends, but instead he enraged the mobster and killed one of his men. Additionally, he and Cal Thresher and Jackie Ming engaged in an ego war that resulted in the Navigator explosion and Tyson's pursuit of Bill. Dwight could have prevented all of the violence in Tulsa King Season 2 if he had been less reactive in the beginning. He made a number of snap decisions that ultimately resulted in confrontation. Although Dwight bears some responsibility for the fight with Bill Bevilacqua, he is by no means the sole cause. Dwight made a concerted effort to prevent Tyson from attacking Bill, which was the primary cause of the war. When he discovered that Tyson had not heeded his advice to wait for concrete proof of who was at fault, Dwight attempted to persuade him to go before he committed a foolish act. At the sit-down in Atlanta, Dwight had even begun to defuse tensions between Tulsa and Kansas City, but Jackie Ming's car bomb and Tyson's temper got in the way. Additionally, Dwight's side of the dispute is not solely to blame because Jackie Ming and Bill Bevilacqua also contributed to the war's inception. Jackie's car bomb was the second biggest factor that led to the war beginning at all after Tyson. The deal that Bill and Dwight came to at the sit-down would still be in place if it weren't for the car bomb, and Tyson wouldn't have pursued Bill. Actually, Jackie's actions rather than Dwight's have been largely responsible for the bloodshed that has occurred thus far in the season. Bill Bevilacqua is equally as responsible as Dwight for creating the conditions for a gang war, even though Jackie's actions were rather straightforward. Despite being humiliated at their initial meeting, Bill was far more hostile than Dwight. Additionally, Bill unreasonably became enraged after Dwight killed Carl, the assassin, and put a hit out on him. The disagreement between Tulsa and Kansas City was undoubtedly sparked by Dwight's actions during their initial encounter, but Bill was mostly responsible for it turning violent. Even Dwight bears some of the blame for the gang conflict in Tulsa King Season 2, but no one person is solely to blame. Let us know in your comments. And stay tuned by subscribing our channel to get more updates like this. Thanks everyone.